In this video, we got another episode of this series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter, X7Tanaka. I'll put out a tweet maybe every a couple of days, every 2 to 3 days, asking for teams, and then you guys reply to that tweet with your team and MT, just like everybody in this video did, and you have a chance to be featured in the next I rate and improve your teams video. But if you guys also want to comment your teams down below in the YouTube comment section, I try to go through as many comments as possible and give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your guys' team. If you guys want to do that, make sure to let me know your team and how much MT you guys have down below, and I'll try to go through and respond to as many people as possible and give you guys my best suggestions. But looking at the first team here, coming in from Cali's got 375,000 MT and a pretty good squad. I mean, this is a really good team all around. I would say this has got to be at least a 9.5, maybe not a 10 out of 10. I think there's a couple upgrades you can make with this squad, and that's going to be starting with your backup shooting guard. I know you got Scottie Pippen for free from that locker code, the 4th of July code. I would just look to get a better shooting guard with that amount of MT. Now it depends how much you want to spend. Even if you want to go super cheap, I think a perfect shooting guard is Radiant T-Mac or the interdimensional Tim Thomas. I think they're going to be a whole lot better than Scottie Pippen, especially once you already got Ben Simmons as your backup point guard. So that's what I would do personally, is look to get a Radiant T-Mac or like if you want to go cheap, I'd say Radiant T-Mac or Tim Thomas. Now, if you want to spend a little bit more MT, Danny Granger is also a really good option. So Danny Granger could be on the radar as well. He's about 90 to 100,000 MT, so he could also be that backup shooting guard. Other than that, I think that's all you really have to do. I would maybe also look to getting a better backup center and moving Kristaps to the backup power forward position and getting rid of Artis Gilmore. So I'd move Kristaps to the backup power forward spot. And then for backup center, I would look at cards like Mark Eden, Ralph Sampson. I think those are going to be your two main options. I would personally go Mark Eden, but Ralph Sampson is also a really good choice. So for your team, it's really going to be getting either Danny Granger, T-Mac, the Radiant version, or the Tim Thomas, the interdimensional version, right at the backup shooting guard position over Pippen, or it's going to be moving Kristaps to the backup power forward position, putting Mark Eden at backup center. You'll have more size and a little bit more defense, pairing up Kristaps alongside Mark Eden, but all around already a really good looking squad. Now looking at the next team here, coming in from BCF, he's got about 250,000 MT, a really good starting lineup. Bench is pretty decent, but could be improved a little bit. I would say a solid like 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10 at most, probably more like a 8.5 or a 9. I would say for your suggestions with 250k, it really comes down to how much MT you want to spend. I think what you should do probably is move Kristaps to your backup power forward position, and then I would get Galaxy Opal Yao Ming to start, or the Dark Matter Yao Ming, whichever one you want. I mean, the Galaxy Opal is about 50k, the Dark Matter is about 80,000 MT, so if you want to spend the extra 30k, go get the Dark Matter version, and then you can have Kristaps and Mark Eden in your backcourt, and you can have Mark Eden and Kristaps in your backup front court, and that means your two front courts are good to go. You got Taco Yao, you got Kristaps and Mark Eden. Now Chet's obviously going to be staying on the lineup. He can be our starting small forward, or he can be your starting small forward. Now for the backup small forward position, that's where I would look to upgrade to even just a Kevin Garnett. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Bol the Dark Matter is a really good option as well. He could be your backup small forward. So if you want to go cheaper, I'd probably go Dark Matter KG if you're just looking for a really good defender to pair alongside Terry and Doug Christie. But Bol is still 7'2" with a 7'7" wingspan, and he only goes for I think about 70 to 80k, and he's a really good value card. So Bol or KG will be my suggestion for the backup small forward position. And then once again, for shooting guard, I know Scottie Pippen was free, but I would still go for a Radiant T-Mac or a Tim Thomas from the interdimensional version. I think they'll, T-Mac or Tim Thomas will play really good alongside Chet and Jokic, because you need that main ball handler, and I don't think Chet or Jokic is really your main scorer. So I feel like getting T-Mac or Tim Thomas is kind of a must-have for this type of team. But all around, a very decent squad to start off with. Looking at the next team here, coming in from, I think it's pronounced Manby, and this is going to be an absolute god squad. He's got 1.1 mil, a really good starting lineup with Luka, KD, both end games, Victor Wembanyama, Shaq, and Yao. Can't get really much better than that, as a lineup. Only thing you could really get better is Manute Bol to play your starting center position. For the bench though, that's where you can maybe upgrade a couple things. I like LeBron a lot, so I'm gonna keep you LeBron. Everybody knows that I love that LeBron card. Now what I would do though is I would get a better backup point guard and definitely a better backup power forward, and that just really comes down to preference. You already got Evan Mobley, so if you just wanted to put him in the lineup over Bargnani, I think that could be a suggestion. For backup point guard, it really depends how much MT you want to spend. If you want a top tier point guard, I think Nikola Jokic's hero version, or even just as out of position, would be a really good choice. Now I will say, if you're gonna get a Jokic or a defensive point guard, that's when I would maybe look to get like a Danny Granger to play over LeBron. I still love that LeBron card, but Danny Granger does everything LeBron does on defense, but has a way better jump shot and way better dribble sigs and just moves a lot quicker in game. So what I would do for your squad is maybe a little bit different. Is what I would go is, let's say Nikola Jokic as your backup point guard, the hero or the out of position version, and then I would get Danny Granger to play your backup shooting guard spot, just so you have a little bit more offense. And then like I said, I'd move Mobley into the backup power forward position, or go ahead and get yourself a, you know, Taco Fall or a Kristaps Porzingis, the invincible version, you know, whatever you choose to do, or maybe an endgame D-Rob if you really want to upgrade that backup power forward spot. But I think the main suggestion is moving Mobley to the power forward position, you know, instead of Bargnani, and then getting, let's say, Jokic and Danny Granger to play your backup backcourt. I think that does make your team a little bit better, but once again, already a really good squad. Looking at the next team here, coming in from Levy Moore, he's only got 20k, so I got to give him like a super cheap squad. Starting lineup I think is going to have to stay the same. For the bench though, this is what I would personally do. So backup point guard, I would go Doug Christie, and then I would maybe either go Bob Nedelecki or grind for James Worthy to be your backup small forward. But let's just say you keep Bob Nedelecki there at your backup small forward position, and then get rid of everybody else. You're going to go Doug Christie backup point guard, Bob Nedelecki backup small forward, and then for your power forward position, I would go Marc Gasol. Only 5k, so we still have 15,000 MT left. For the other 15k, I feel like you kind of have to go Sabonis and then just get like a really cheap shooting guard like an Asar Thompson. So that's what I would do, is get Arvydas Sabonis, his hero version, to be your backup center, and then I would get Asar Thompson to be your backup shooting guard. You know, you can maybe quick sell some stuff or just grind a little bit of the T-Mac packs if you need some extra MT. What I would do is get Doug Christie, or move Doug Christie backup point guard, then I'd go Asar Thompson shooting guard, I would go Bob Nedelecki small forward, I would go Marc Gasol power forward, and then Arvydas Sabonis, the hero version, as your backup center. The rating out of 10 before the suggestions, like a 7 out of 10, maybe 6.5, somewhere in that range. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from can't guard him, he's got 900,000 MT to work with, and he also does have invincible Grant Hill. So another amazing squad. I would say easily a 9 to maybe 9.5. I mean, you got invincible Victor Wembanyama, you got Kareem Yao Ming, you got a really good squad all around. I think for your suggestions really comes with maybe the power forward position. I like your 2 point guards, I like your 2 shooting guards, and I like your 2 small forwards, and I even like your 2 centers. I would just look to upgrade that power forward position. Now it depends how much MT you want to spend. If you want to go after an endgame Shaq or an endgame D-Rob, I think D-Rob could be worth it for his price of only about 250k to 300,000 MT. So I've looked to upgrade your power forward position, and it really just comes down to how much MT you want to spend. If you want to go cheaper, I would look at like Taco to potentially play over Kareem, and then Kristaps to play over Nikola Jokic, whether that's the invincible Kristaps or whether that's just the normal version. But let's say you want to go expensive, I would probably go endgame D-Rob and invincible Kristaps, or endgame Shaq and endgame D-Rob, once again depending how much MT you want to spend, because I think that's the only position you really need to upgrade. But all around, another really good squad. Looking at the next team here, coming in from Papa Cuba, I think is how you say it, or Ant Loading. He says he also has Kenyon Martin as his bench small forward now, Zion last 3 over Russ. So he's got Kenyon Martin backup small forward instead of Zion Williamson. Rating out of 10, I would say like another 9, maybe 9.5. Really good squad all around. I would say once again, just the power forward position, I'm not gonna lie, maybe backup shooting guard as well. I like Grady Dick, but he could definitely be upgraded with a better offensive shooting guard. Once again, I think T-Mac, Tim Thomas, Danny Granger, those are like my main options, I would say, for your backup shooting guard position. I'm trying to give you guys as many options as possible. I don't want to just recommend the same cards, but I'm trying to recommend you guys the best cards for the squad. I'm trying to give you guys all the best suggestions, and it's hard to think of tons of different cards, because I feel like for this team, your backup shooting guard, the best cards to go with would be Radiant T-Mac, he's super cheap, or Interdimensional Tim Thomas, or if you wanted to spend some more MT, then a Danny Granger. So it's like, I know I'm recommending some of the same cards over and over again, but it's like those are actually who I feel like are the best cards. I don't want to recommend you somebody random that's different just so I can be like, oh, I gave you a different suggestion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to give you guys the best suggestions. So for that backup shooting guard position, those are the 3 shooting guards I picked between. I like Kenyon Martin, but I still think a Dark Matter Bull is a ton better, and he's only going to cost you about 80k, 70,000 MT, somewhere in that price range. And then once again, for the power forward position, you got Kristaps. You can move Dikembe to the backup power forward spot. You got Taco Fall. So I think for your 2 power forwards, I would go Taco and let's say Artis Gilmore. And then for backup center, I would get Mark Eden. So your 10-man rotation could be Jimmy and Ben Simmons, KD, and let's say T-Mac. And then you got Victor Wembanyama and Bull. Power forwards, you could go Taco Fall and Artis Gilmore. And then centers, you could go Yao and Mark Eden. That's probably what I'd go with for your squad. And then guys, looking at the last team here, coming in from, how do you pronounce that? Is it Kaylun? And then I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's got 500,000 MT to work with. And this is a squad that does need a lot of suggestions. So I'm just going to give you my best 10-man rotation, because I think this team could definitely be upgraded. You actually got a really good backcourt, but everything else probably could be upgraded a little bit. So I would go power forwards as Victor Wembanyama and Kristaps. Those can be your 2 power forwards. Your 2 centers, I would go Dark Matter Yao Ming, and then I'd probably go Dark Matter Mark Eden. I think those are the 2 best centers for this team. And then for your 2 small forward position, unless you just really want to use Giannis and LeBron because you're your favorite players, I would probably look to go once again Bull and KG. I just think those are the best for this type of squad. So that'd be my 10-man rotation I build for your team. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below, like I said earlier, your squad and how much MT you guys have. And yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.